Good morning. Well, kind of mid-morning, I guess, but how are you guys doing today? I'm going to be planting my cover crop today. So, let's take a look. So I got about enough bags for, I think, 22 acres. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting, you can see there, I'm putting cereal rye, hairy vetch, and some radish down. I'm putting about 80 pounds to the acre. My plan is to plant grain into this next year, and I want it to be a weed barrier. They said you can do only about 40 pounds, and you might get through with just the spring weeds, but not the early summer late weeds. So I'm going to try 80 pounds. It's going to make a really nice mat, I'm hoping. The one thing that's a little scary, though, is moisture. That might take a lot of moisture, but it's an experiment. So we'll see what happens. I've got, as I said, 20 acres here that I'm going to be planting, and we'll see how it works out. So I got to calibrate the planter here real fast. There we are. Calibrate the planter. Make sure I'm not putting on like 120 pounds or only 50 pounds. I've got a book that kind of tells you where to go, but sometimes with mixes, it's not quite right. So I'm gonna get that calibrated and we'll start up. All right, still haven't really gotten very much done yet, but what I'm trying to do is check the depth, make sure I'm not going too shallow. And so I'm coming out here, and I might have gone too deep. We'll find out. So I'm just digging here to kind of see what depth we're at. So I got everything calibrated, depth and everything looks good. Rate looks good. It's empty about where it should have been. So now it's time to load this sucker. Just where you need a little helper. Oh well, I'll get it done. Well, I think I got everything set. Hopefully we're set right, got everything loaded. That's always the fun part, just making sure that you get everything right, because if you're off just a little bit, it's not a big deal. If you're off a lot, instead of putting on 80 pounds, you put on 120, and you only buy enough for 80 pounds, it's a bad day. So, but yeah, so we're gonna get this planted out and kind of go from there. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm planting a cover crop that I'm going to eventually, well, not necessarily terminate, but kind of terminate, I guess you'd say, in the spring when I'm planting my corn. So the plan is with cereal rye, it's a winter annual. So you plant it spring, or September, October time frame. It's going to grow during the winter time, not a lot, but little. And then when springtime comes, it really shoots up. The plan is then to plant directly into that, standing 3 to 4 feet, depending. I'm not sure how tall we'll get here with our dry springs, but plant into that standing cereal rye and plant through it. And then I'll come back and spray it, and then I'll roll it with something to kind of make a mat. You can almost think of it like what they do with vegetables with the plastic. So they make a mat for that plastic, with that plastic as a weed barrier, a moisture barrier, lots of things, and then the plants come up through that. Like they'll make slits and plant in between there. That's kind of the hope. I've seen a lot of guys do it. It's worked out really well. I haven't had anyone really do it in our area, but we planted green before, but I haven't rolled it and seen how well of a barrier it's going to be. The goal is it's going to have some soil health properties, but a big one is going to be soil weed prevention, I guess I'd say, because it's going to shade it out. It's going to keep basically the weeds from growing is the hope, and also moisture retention. Because that ground is completely covered, the hope is that we're not going to have evaporation from the sun, and it's going to keep that moisture, so when we get rain or we put an irrigation down, it's going to keep it down in the ground. At least that's the hope. We'll see if it happens or not. So a big reason why we do, or why I'm looking to do this cereal rye, besides the moisture thing, but just the soil health and water is a big factor for us. Like this year, we got 14 runs of water. So on this farm here, I can put on about little over an inch, maybe an inch and a tenth on the entire 90 acres. But I also have another 80 acres I have to irrigate as well, so I have to kind of choose which one to do. So I think I put on about 10 runs on this pivot here, which would have got me about 12 or so inches, rough guess. And then we got about 6 inches of rain. So that's about 18 inches of rainfall for the year. Maybe a little less, a little more, just kind of rough guess there. So with corn, I'm going to be wrong on the exact number here, but I want to say it's about 20 inches is what it needs. 20 to 25, I want to say, rough guess, to make a crop a decent average crop, I guess you would say. Now, of course, you're going to get some moisture from soil profile, snow, and things like that, which we didn't have much this year. And so my big logic behind all this is for organic matter to increase and then also to retain as much moisture as we can. In our area, when it gets 100 degrees, hardly any humidity at all, it's tough to keep your moisture in the soil. And so if we could try to keep it covered and again increase the organic matter, we're going to be able to retain more of that moisture, and hopefully with what rainfall we get, it will be able to, the plant will be able to use more of it instead of it just disappearing from evaporation. So that's a big key in our area. I'm really hoping it works out, because I really think that by increasing organic matter and increasing our water retention, we're going to be able to have better crops. And not necessarily that we're going to be able to decrease our irrigation, but just we'll have better, be able to last longer in between runs. Because like this year, a lot of runs were 2 weeks apart. Well, that's a long time if you don't get any moisture and it's 100 degrees. So a lot of things going with it, but the soil, the moisture retention is a big part of it for us. Exciting thing is we're about ready for harvest, which is probably my favorite time of the year with probably basically every farmer. One, it's just nice to be able to get the crop out of the ground, be done with it, make your money for the year. Because for us, and I'm sure every area, you're always waiting for that hailstorm, or like in Iowa, that windstorm that just knocks down everything. Mother Nature does not play nice, and makes it kind of fun to farm. But anyways, back to the story though. So yeah, I'm really excited for harvest to come. The one downside, and it is, you know, it's not a big deal, but it kind of sucks, is I never get around the combine. That's kind of Dad's baby, and so he likes to sit in the combine. He doesn't like anyone else to sit in the combine, so I'm kind of the grain cart guy. And for all you guys that are grain cart guys, you'll know what I mean by it's a little stressful. It always seems like you can never do anything right. So you'll be too late to get there. And he'll say, you know, hey, you're late. I need to go. I need to dump. So he's waiting on you, so he gets mad about that. And then the next go around, you're going too fast in the field, and he's like, well, you need to slow down. You're going too fast in the field. It's just a constant battle. You're over too far one way, you're not over far enough the other way. It's his way or the highway, and every combine driver knows how that goes. And I guess grain cart guys were just second in command. That's how it's going to be. But that's all right. It's still fun. I run the grain cart, run trucks, I run the auger. I kind of jump around. We don't hire anyone for this time of the year. Usually, sometimes we'll hire someone just a little part-time, but it's usually me, my dad, and my mom. And that's all the help we need. All we really do. We don't grow a lot of corn. I mean, you know, a few hundred acres, but nothing like they do out east. Our farm isn't that big compared to them, so we don't need a crazy amount of help. But yeah, I just thought I'm really excited for it. I'm ready for the year to kind of be over with anyways, but I'm interested to see how our corn does this year and go on with that. So I'll have some more videos coming up with corn harvest, but as I said, we're just trying to get a few more things finalized. We got to work on the auger, some ice to shoot through it, so we got to replace the belt. That's going to be fun. But besides that, it should be about ready to go. Well, finally got the 23 acres done. Ended up not too bad. I think I was a little short, but I'd rather be short than over. So I'll probably use the extra seed somewhere else, but glad to get that done. Now I think my dad's coming here pretty quick to get the belt, or has the belt that we ordered. So probably go fix that and get ready for harvest. I'm ready. Hope you guys are. See ya. Also, subscribe, like. Hope you liked everything you saw, but hit me some comments and hope you're enjoying. Thanks. Bye.